on YouTube, can you see me and can you hear me? I'm not sure if we're having any technical problems here. We're going to try and refresh our stream. Anyway, we're going to get started. So we're going to do a little summary of what we did in part 1 and part 2 of the Excel VBA Absolute Beginner course. We'll do a little summary of that, and then we're going to provide some bonus content here. So this is an absolute beginner course, but I'm going to challenge you. I'm going to challenge you with a few more advanced techniques. That's what we're going to do in the first 30 minutes or so. But then after today, you know what's going to happen? Well, hopefully I've lit a fire within you about Excel VBA learning, and it's up to you to take it forward. And we're going to talk about our Members Monday community, which is our unique Excel VBA learning community. So that is all coming later. A big welcome to Paul. How are you doing, Paul? Where are you watching from? And a big welcome to Charles. Charles, one of our members or a former member, Charles? I'm not sure. Charles, are you still with us? But let us know if you're watching in the chat, where you're watching from. If you've got questions for me or our Members Monday members, it will be fantastic to hear some of those. Charles says there's some strange people in my office. Don't worry, they're perfectly friendly. As I said, we're going to be talking to them later. So let's get into a little summary then. And I'm going to go ahead. A bit tricky today to have multiple screens. I'm going to go ahead and we're going to do a little share here. Something like this should do the job. And I'm going to peer over in a second. So let's summarize what we've done so far on the Excel VBA Absolute Beginner course. Well, we know first with Excel VBA, we've got to get set up for success. Yeah, we've got to get set up for success. So what does that mean? Well, it means understanding which file format do you need to save in. What's the file format, guys, that you need to save in for Excel VBA? .xlsm. Yes, fantastic. Our member has flown in from California to be here. That's why she's with us, that kind of contribution. We've got to be able to view the developer tab. Guys, how do we view the developer tab in Excel? Okay. We'll come back to them later. We can go to options, of course. Yeah, we can go to options and then customize tab. That allows us to view the developer tab. Also got a developer tab in PowerPoint. Maybe we'll do a series about that one day. And the screen setup, you can see today, I'm struggling a bit because we've only got one screen here. Having multiple screens really helps, or being able to show the VBA editor and Excel on one screen. You're going to do that in a second. That's a really helpful thing to do when you're learning Excel VBA. Then your first macro. So a couple of days ago, we set up a macro, flashed up a message box. So in that moment, you became a computer programmer, an Excel VBA developer. How did that feel? Hopefully that was your first jump the air moment. Jump the air, punch the air moment. And then using the macro recorder. So this incredible facility in Excel actually allows us to generate our own code so we can set it off, do some things in Excel, and then review the code. It actually records our actions. A great way to learn Excel VBA. Then we spoke about debugging in the VBA editor, stepping through the code, putting breakpoints in the code. Debugging is one of our meta skills because if you can debug, everything else in Excel gets easier. And then we did our techniques, interacting with cells, range A1 equals 1, variables. What's a variable? What's a working definition for a variable, guys? A good practical definition, Keith? Absolutely. A space to store something 100%. That's all it is, guys. That's how you should think about variables. Then we've got loops, and loops allow us to repeat an instruction any number of times, incredibly powerful. Conditional statements we covered at the end of the session yesterday, point the code in one of two directions. And then position control, all important in Excel. We have our grid, our playing field, our canvas. How well can we can navigate that grid? That's a big determinant of how well we do at Excel VBA. Okay, then we mentioned mega skills, meta skills. Intelligence is knowing what to do when you don't know what to do. One thing you can guarantee, and our members have got plenty of experience of this, is you're going to be stuck. You're going to be stuck sometime when you're learning Excel VBA. It happens to me all the time, even after 10 years in the game. So what do? Do you just give up? Do I just throw the computer out the window into the streets of Nottingham city centre? Probably not the best thing to do. So you've got to be able to debug. You've got to have well-commented code. You've got to know where to go to help. Our members one place we can go straight away is the Members Monday Facebook page. Ask a question there. You can even shoot an email straight to me and get some help in that way, or you might have to go to Google, whatever it may be. You've got to know where to go for help. And then, yeah, never giving up and loving those punch the air moments. And if you've been following along in the past 2 days, hopefully you will have had a few punch the air moments. Good guys. Any punch the air moments with VBA in the past couple of weeks? Maybe. I've got a few smiles. It's like having, you know, high school students here. It's fantastic stuff. But that's what it's all about, I think, you know, just building confidence in VBA, those punch the air moments, never giving up. That's a meta skill, kind of having the right attitude. Okay. So we're going to get into some bonus content for the next 20 minutes or so. So it's an absolute beginner course, so you don't even have to worry about this bonus content. But if you've been following along so far, you might be thinking, yeah, that's exciting. I'd like to learn something a little bit more advanced. And that's what we're going to do in this third video. We're going to learn some more advanced techniques. Now, earlier on, our members, they were kind of, how would you say in English? We would say taking the mickey out of me for having all these Excel phrases that I use, for example, punch the air. And one of them, I think, was range, guys. Yeah. I think somebody mentioned range. So when would we use range? Let's ask our members Monday members behind us. Let's ask the chat. When would we use range? Any ideas, guys?
I'm a proponent of range, cell.
Range, cell. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we could use cell as well, the same kind of thing. But what's the idea of it? What does it allow us to do? Range. Let's give it a go. All right. Yes, absolutely. So with range, we've got this idea of a start and end position. So it's all about position control and particularly advanced position control. So hopefully, what are we talking about when we were talking about position control? Well, hopefully you're comfortable with this idea. So I can say range A1, interacting with a cell in the spreadsheet, dot offset, and then let's say 1, and I'm just going to say dot value equals, and I'm going to say MM like this. So guys, when I run this code, a value is going to appear in a cell. Which cell is that value going to appear in? B2, absolutely, because we're starting at A1 and then we're offsetting by 1 row and 1 column. And let's go ahead and prove that. Hit the F5 key and I can see MM is appearing here. Or of course, you can just go ahead, click into the routine and click the play button there. So this is the basic idea of position control, and this concept, and we combine this basic construct with a loop and a conditional statement yesterday, is incredibly powerful. But you might be saying, well, Chris, that allows me to interact with a single cell. What if I wanted to interact with multiple cells? Interact with multiple cells. How would I go about doing that? Well, here, the range concept is going to allow us to get stuff done. So advanced position control in Excel. If you're watching along, let us know where you're watching from in the chat. So range, advanced position control in Excel. And I'm just going to go ahead and generate some random numbers to give us something to work with here. So Excel has a facility, has formulae for us to generate random numbers. The rand formula generates a random number between 0 and 1. That's not what we want to do. In this case, I'm going to use the rand between formula. With rand between, we can specify a bottom and a top point, and Excel will generate a random number between those two values. So I'm going to say 1 to 5 rand between, and then I'm going to use the hold down the shift key here and use the keyboard arrows to resize there, Control R, and then coming down and Control D. And this just gives me a range of numbers. We're going to use this for demonstration. I'm now going to convert these numbers to values because I don't want them to change. If you now hit the F9 key, because we've got a rand between formula in there, every time Excel calculates, it's going to generate new random numbers. That's going to be difficult for teaching and learning. So let's go ahead and fix these values. Control C, Control Alt V, and I can now see in the formula bar, there's no formula there. So we've successfully converted those formulae to values. So this gives us something to work with. And let's say we want to add up numbers between a start cell and an end cell. How about that? Add up the numbers between a start cell and an end cell. For example, I might say, okay, my start cell is C12 and my end cell is F16. I'd like to add up all the numbers between C12 and F16. So we'd have to add up all of those numbers. What do they add up to, members? Those numbers? A lot, yes. Very good. Good stuff. Yeah, we can actually see in the bottom of Excel, these add up to 66. So let's see if we can go and set this up. So we've got start point here, start cell, and then end cell. This is the idea. Alt-HBA, and then F4 key, repeat the last action. So I want to put the start cell in there, the end cell in there, and then add up the numbers between those two cells. Okay, let's put it out to our Members Monday members. How are we going to actually do this, guys? Can anybody get me started? Like a concept, obviously we've got range. Any ideas to get started, guys? Or do you just want variables? Good. So we know we have to declare any variables at the top of the routine. That's something for us to think about, variable declaration. Where do you want the result? Yeah. Where's the result going to appear? Shall we display the result in a message box? Shall we? Is that good with the Members Monday members? Good old message box. Yes. Display the result in a message box. In a good old message box. There we go. So you can see, what are we doing now? We're just talking through things, and obviously we're just having a bit of a laugh with the members here. That's what we do. Just have a little bit have a bit of a laugh about VBA all the time, don't we, guys? But this is just what we're doing. But we're actually doing an important thing, which is planning and conceptualization. Planning and conceptualization. Because if you can talk through what you're trying to do in your native language, it's much easier to convert it into computer language, to convert it into VBA. So we've got this idea of declaring a variable. What's a variable, guys? A variable is a place you store information. So what information are we going to want to store in that variable? Interesting. Keep saying integers. Okay. Yes, potentially. Yeah, because we might want to add things up. Yeah. So let's have an integer variable. What would be a good name for the variable? Here we go. One of our members Mondays. Okay. Dim X as integer. Okay. You know, this is absolutely fine. Okay. And you'll see many people online doing this. But what I would say is this an informative name? Does the name of the variable tell you what the variable's function is? I'd argue no, but I know a lot of people like using kind of algebraic letters, A, B, C, X, Y, Z. But what would be an informative name? Kind of results, our Members Monday members are saying. So dim result as integer. So variable declared with informative name. Variable declared with informative name. Good. Okay. What other variables might we want here? Some ranges. Yeah. Yeah. And what's the function or the role of those variables going to be? If we had to describe it to somebody, what's the purpose of the other variables we're talking about? Good. They're also storing information. Yeah. Specifically, I think they could store the cell references. Yeah. Because this is the idea that the user can type the cell references in these cells, and then we could put those into variables. That allows us to easily manipulate that information and then go ahead and perform our operation here. So dim, what would be a good name for these variables? Well, we could say, I'm going to say start ref, because a cell reference, that's what it is. So start ref. What kind of variable would this one be? And there's different approaches here, right? But what kind of variable would this one be? Absolutely, a string variable. Personally, I'll go for a string variable. So what's a string variable? A string variable stores text, of course. And when we're talking about cells, A1, B2, C3, Excel recognizes those as text. So having dim start ref as string, this is a text variable, variable to store a start point. Okay, then we need to repeat that. We say dim end ref as string. Okay, text variable to store endpoint. Good. We're just working through this step by step. And as always with VBA, try to be slow. I try to be slow, actively try to be slow, steady, systematic. That's the way for us to learn VBA code. That's the way for us to implement it as well. Good. Okay, so we've got our variables, and we know a variable is a place to store information. So now we want to get some information into those variables. So let's choose a range here. Let's do something nice and simple first. So I'm going to say B11, which is the first range, the first cell rather in our range. I'm just going to go B11 to C12 here. So we've got a couple of references in our cells. Now we want to get this information into our variables. So what's our foundational concept? To do that, we mentioned this yesterday. How would we do that, Members Monday members? How would we do that? So we want to store this information into a variable. Yeah. Yeah.
Make sure I would first get the results where I'm hard coding it.
Okay.
In the VBA script, and then I go and
Okay. Okay. I'm going to try getting these values into variables first. I'm going to see if we can do that. Start ref equals range. So this is C8. There we go, because C8 is the cell that contains our start reference, our start range. And then I'm going to copy this, Control C, Control V. And then we've got range C9, of course. And then we want to change this to end ref. Okay, so hopefully, I'm just going to say store value to variable. So hopefully, we've been able to get that information into a variable there. Okay, good. So what should we do now? What should we do next, guys? Testing. Testing, of course. Sorry? Message box. Message box. Message box. These guys love a message box. Seriously. Message box is coming soon. But first, we've got to test because we've done a little bit of code. So we've got to test that it works. How can we test? We've got values into these variables. Let's give the crowd what they want. I'm going to say message box start ref. And remember, with message boxes, if we have the speech marks there, then that's just going to display the variable name as text. That's not what we want to do. If we remove the speech marks, this is going to actually display the value the variable holds. So if you're watching on replay, you can stop this video, and what value is going to pop up in the message box? We can ask our Members Monday members. Yeah, what value will pop up in the message box then, guys? What do you think? Okay, we're saying B11. So I'm going to hit the F5 key, and I can see, yep, B11 displaying in the message box. So we've built a little bit of code, we tested it, and that allows us to move on with confidence. Okay. Good. So what's next? Well, now we've got to think about how to actually sum up this range. So summing up, that's an operation. That's something that's not really simple. So let's do something simple first. What would be simpler than summing up the range, guys? Any ideas? What's simpler than summing it up? Perhaps we could just... Well, we do want to sum it up because we want to add the numbers between the start cell and the end cell. That's ultimately what we want to do, but I'm saying as an intermediary step. Just start with the loop and then ask what the value of that cell that you're looking at. I don't think we're going to need a loop here because rather we're looking to to select the range. We're looking to select the range and then to add up the numbers in that range. You say, does that make sense? So here, B11 to C12, we'd be looking to add up these numbers. Now, you could do it with a loop. You could do it with a loop, but we're looking to just, select. Let's see if we can just select this range. So we're not going to worry about the summing up yet. We're just going to try to select it. Okay. So this is where our foundational concepts are. Well, it's an advanced concept really comes into play, range. So why is it called range? So the first range tells Excel that we want to do something with a range. And then the second range is our start point. That's the start point of the range we want to work with. And then the third range, the second range in the bracket is the end point of the range that we're looking to work with. So does that make sense? Let's have a look. So how is this going to work? Okay. So I think what we'd have to do, perhaps this is going to work, but let's try to, we had the idea of hard coding this first. Let's just see if this is going to work. So if I say range B11 and then comma, so range, comma, range, and then range C12. Actually, let's do that differently. Let's say range B11. No, that is right. Sorry. And then range C12 and then two brackets. And we're just going to select this. Okay, we said summing up is not straightforward. So let's do something more straightforward, which is just to select this range first. Okay, so what's going to happen? This is the power of range. Let's hit the F5 key here. And we can see that range has been selected. So now we can play with this. So say range C13. So stop the video. Or Members Monday members, what range is going to be selected now? Going to hit the F5 key. And you can see a bigger range selected now. We could even go to C20 if we wanted to, hit the F5 key, and you can see how that range is selected. So that's range in action. And let's just, to prove this, let's change the starting point as well and play this routine. And you can see Excel is understanding those start points and end points, and it's allowing us to work with a range of cells. You keep up, guys? Everybody awake? Yeah, very good. Good stuff. Good. So this is what we'd call a hard-coded or a static solution, because our references are actually hard-coded into the code. We've written our references into the VBA editor. How useful would that be? Well, probably not very, very useful, to be honest, because in real life, in the business world, the organizational world, people want to change things, don't they? People want to use the file, put their settings in. So we need to have some dynamic quality here, so the user would be able to change the values in the cell and just click a button, and those values, the values in that range anyway, would be added up. So how to do that? What do you guys think? What's going to help us here? The variables, yeah, absolutely. Okay. Let's. One of our members just said, "I wouldn't even approach it that way." So yeah, we can review all other approaches in just a second. In fact, you could come up here and tell the viewers all about your approach. You want? We'll get to it. Don't worry. We'll get there. Okay. So our members are trying to figure out how I'm going to do it. So how about this? Range start ref, range end ref. There we go. What do you think? Guys, is that going to work? Yeah, I'm getting it's mixed opinions from the members at the moment about whether this is going to work or not. Let's give it a go. So hitting the F8 key here. Yeah, how could we find out if this is going to work? Well, we could just run the routine. I'm going to hit the F8 key. Have the values gone into the variables? Yep. Start ref is B11, end ref is C12. So now when Excel reads this, Excel's going to understand this because we're using a variable. There's no speech marks here, guys. There's no speech marks around this text. So Excel's going to understand it as a variable. So what's stored in that text, because a variable is a place to store information, we can hover over it. I think because I've edited now. Yeah, B11 and then C12. So we've got this information from the spreadsheet into the variables, and we're then manipulating the code, building what we want using those variables. So what's going to happen here? Let's give it a go. So start cell B11 is there. Let's say end cell D11. And we're just okay. And what we'll do is we don't need select now, do we, guys? Thanks for telling me that, guys. God, these guys, we don't need select now. I think we do need dot value, so we're changing that method to a property, and then big cheer from the members. The message box is back. So we can say message box result. So once again, using a variable there to with message box without speech marks. Okay, the members. So what's going to flash up now? There's some real disagreement amongst the members today. I think they need a bit of discipline after this session. So what value is going to flash up? B11 to D11. Yes. Yeah, I think you might be right. I think we need more here. Yeah, we need more. Okay. I'm going to embarrassingly backtrack here. We're just going to go back to select here. I'm just going to see if we can select this range using those variables to select this range. Okay, and we can see that this is selected. And let's go E11 here. Okay, we see E11 selected. And let's go F16. F16 selected. Okay, cool. Right then, what do you think? So we understand the basic mechanism, hopefully, but we want to do a bit more than that. We want to actually add up the numbers in that range. So we've got the mechanism working to the extent that we can specify a range. That seems to work fine. But we actually want to add up the values in that range. I thought that would be easy. I don't think it's as easy as I thought, but what ideas have we got? So any ideas from the chat or any ideas from the members here? What do you think? We had a good idea earlier.
I don't know if you could do dot sum.
Like dots, yeah.
With the result, we called it the variable integer.
Could we do something with sum? Yeah. Could we do something with, did you get that?
That's the thing.
Okay.
I think you need to
Okay. I'm interested to see how I'm going to make this work too. So we've got, I think we can do it with sum somehow. And then Bart, your idea from earlier?
Yeah.
We could loop through the cells too.
Yeah.
Move through the cells using a for next loop. Okay. I'm pretty sure we can do this with a loop because we've specified the range, and then using the even for each loop, I think we'll use for each objects in a collection, we'd be able to sum up those values, I think. So we've got that in reserve. Let's try it with sum. Let's try it with sum, and let's see if this is going to work. I'm not sure. So this is definitely more advanced. We can say result equals, now we want to use a sum formula. Yeah. Now we have this facility in VBA to call formula functionality when we need it in the VBA editor using application.worksheet function, a construct called application.worksheet function, and then the name of the formula that you want to use. And then you've got to put brackets around whatever construct that you're trying to use there. This is my idea, guys. Anyway, I'm not sure about this. Ian Lamb's looking very skeptical. Shall we see? I'm not sure. Shall we see? I'm going to hit the F8 key here. Are we going to get an error message? We actually didn't get an error message. Okay, and result is saying 102. So I'm hovering the cursor over the variable, just waiting to catch up here in the room. They're about 5 seconds behind on the screen, you see. And we've got 102 here. So values from B16 to B11 to F16, do they add up to 102? Well, I've selected the range and I can see at the bottom of Excel, they do actually add up. They do actually add up to 102. So this solution seems to work. We can bring back the message box now. The message box results. And then let's change this range to something easier, B11 to B13. That's this range here. So what should the result be, guys?
I'm not sure, sorry.
We-
Which one, B11 and B13?
Yeah. What should the result be, guys?
9.
9. Thank you. Thank you. Sorry, I was just waiting for. Okay. Yes. So 4 plus 1 plus 4 is 9. Well done, guys. And so we're going to hit play now. And we see we've got message box 9 there. Okay. B11 to B16. What would the result be? I'll just look at my nails for a bit. My nails looking good. What would the result be, guys? B11 to B16? Yeah, I'm still looking at my nails. Yeah. Just polish my nails for a bit.
This is too much work.
They're saying it's too much work.
This is how we're always-
B11 to B16. So it's 4 plus 1 plus 4 is 9, plus 3 is 11, plus 5 is 16, plus 4 is 20, I think. Okay. So I'm going for 20. Got 21. Okay. That really is embarrassing. Let's see. Okay, we've got 21 there. So at some point, I got that arithmetic wrong. God, my mates behind me didn't tell me, did they? Anyway, I hope you get the idea that this is one option. It's a bit of an advanced and obscure option, for a beginner. But it's just good to know that in certain situations, you can call workbook formulae and VLOOKUP, COUNTIF, and match. These are formulae I often use in this way using application.worksheet function. So this is one approach, but let's comment it out and let's try to do the loop-based approach here. Loop-based approach. So how would this work? Well, once again, we're in planning and conceptualization mode here. So loop through cells in range and add the cells up. This is the logic, and we can create a comment or an annotation, express it in English first or in your own native language. That's going to help. Okay, so to the members, what additional mechanics do we need in the code to make this work?
You want to do a loop here?
Yeah, we're looking at the loop approach. Yeah. Okay, we're going to do a for each loop. Good. So if we do a for each loop, guys, so for each object in a collection, which we covered in yesterday's session, part 2. So what's the
result plus the variable content?
Yes, or plus the content of the cell. Yeah, which we'll represent with a variable. Yeah. So what kind of variable do we need? We need an integer variable, right? Are you sure? If we're using a for each loop?
Just use result.
But we need to loop through the cells somehow. So for yeah, it's going to be it's going to be a Chris cell. Yeah. So dim Chris cell as range. I was just trying to get Chris cell in there. Okay, we can say generic cell variable here. But we know from yesterday, and I'm just going to go into yesterday's code here. We know from yesterday's code when we use a for each loop. We may have deleted it. Yeah, I changed it to Chris sheet in the end, but this is an example of an object variable. In this case, we weren't using a worksheet yesterday, and today we're going to use a range. I think in part 1, towards the end of part 1, maybe part 2, you can see the demonstration of that. So dim Chris cell as range, and then we've got our basic construct. So for each Chris cell in Yeah, I think, what do you think, guys? For each Chris cell in what?
Range.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. So we could copy this down, couldn't we? What we formulated before. There you go, Control C. So that's just specifying the range that we want to look at. So I think that's going to work. And then next Chris cell. So that's the end of the loop. That's part of our basic formulation for the loop. So this should loop through all of the cells in the range that we specify. How could we check that this is working, guys? We've done a little bit of code. Now we want to check. How could we check that this loop is working? Debug it with F8. Good. Okay. But how do we know the loop is actually reading the cells? We'd need an additional line of code, wouldn't we? Yeah. Yep. The message box Chris cell. Chris cell is the variable that's representing the cell. If we say message box Chris cell dot address, use the address property, that's going to tell us the address of the cell that it's currently looking at. Okay. So let's give this a go. So stop the video. So what's the first value that's going to appear, guys? When the message box pops up, what value is going to appear in the message box? And do you know in the chat, or we can ask our members? Okay, B11, we've got a consensus around B11, going to hit play. We've got B11, and then what's next? B12, B13, B14, B15, and B16. Oh, and then 0. What was that last 0, guys? What can you guess in the chat? Why did we get 0 at the end? Why do we get that 0 at the end?
Because it seems to be going.
It looks at B17 also.
I don't think so. You see right at the bottom of the routine? Have you got it in the chat, guys? Yes, exactly. We've still got this line of code, message box result, and we're not doing anything with results. So Excel is just saying it equals 0. There's nothing in the variable. Good. So we've put a construct in, we've tested it, and now, which was Keith's idea, I think, we need to use the result variable to add these values up. So how are we going to do this, Keith? Result equals result plus, yeah, plus Chris cell dot value. Fantastic. Very good. Okay, this is a common construct, and it looks counterintuitive. It can look counterintuitive. You know, something equals itself plus something else, but this is going to have the effect of incrementing the variable up by the value in the cell. This is what we're looking for. Anyway, okay. Right, shall we just give it a go, guys? Are we not going to step through? We're going to go for broke. The members look confident on this one. Going to hit play, and we've got 21 again. And we can confirm that does equal 21. Right. Let's go for the whole range. So B11 to F16. And let's add this up. And we've got 102 there. How can you test that? Well, you can manually select the range in Excel and holding down the Shift key here and using the arrow buttons. And I can see at the bottom, we've got 102 there. So the loop-based approach also seems to work. What do you think, guys? Which is your favorite? We've got the application.worksheet function approach using sum, and then we've got the loop approach as well. Any comments on that, guys? You still awake? They're thinking about the pub, you see. We're going to the pub after this. Yeah.
I'm wondering if you could do sum, just sum equals speech marks, sum, instead of application.
Just like that.
Yeah.
I think that's a good idea to try. Let's try this.
Do it like Excel, dot formula
Yeah, you could. Yeah, so when I try to run it, Excel doesn't like that, you see, when I try to run it. But we've got two good approaches there. So I think that's pretty solid. Okay. Any questions in the chat? See you soon, Charles. Charles says he's got to go. Okay, very good. Let me just get the chat up a second. Okay, let's go back to this view. There we go. 27 people watching. How you doing, guys? Thanks so much for watching. Just going to go back through the chat. Who's watching with us today? Got a few people coming in. Welcome, Paul. How are you doing? Welcome, John, as well. Ivan from Russia. Amazing. Got some viewers in Russia. Devil Bites. Hello, my friend. How are you? Vinay says, how's the throat? Feeling a lot better today, actually. As I said yesterday, I've been doing some vocal exercises. That's a bit terrifying, isn't it? But that seems to have made a difference. Stephen's with us as well. How are you doing, Stephen? Good to see you again. Chira's with us. How are you doing? Somebody told me to ignore this comment. So we'll do that. Michelle, how are you doing? Michelle's a long-term supporter of the channel. It's been too long, Michelle. How are you getting on? We had a good contribution from Charles there. And Fami's tuning in. How are you doing, Fami? Good to see you. And Henrik is tuning in as well. So welcome, Henrik. Okay, guys. Yeah, if you've got any further questions, you can put them in the chat. But that really concludes the course. So hopefully, as I said, you feel you've got a bit of a foundation in Excel VBA. I won't go through all the things I mentioned at the start because we've got other things to do in this session. But yeah, it's really up to you now to take it forward. And we've got a great supportive community here in Members Monday. We're going to talk to some members in just a second. We've got a great supportive community here, and there's more information in the description below, but don't take it from me. We're going to talk to our members in just a second. Right. We're going to have a short break. We're going to reconfigure the room a little bit, and we'll be back in 2 or 3 minutes time, guys. So stick with us. We'll be back in a couple of minutes. Okay, guys, big welcome back to our live stream. This is Members Monday, session 100. That's why
Yeah.
we've been doing these live sessions this week. So, yeah, the purpose is to talk a bit about Members Monday, which is your Excel VBA learning community. We've got some members with us, and they're going to talk about their experience of Members Monday. And our first member up is Bart. And guys, if you want to chip in at any time, you guys chip in as well. But our first member is Bart. And Bart was our first member in Members Monday about 3 years ago. So tell us your story, Bart. You know, we're all ears.
Yeah, where do I start?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was looking on the internet and looking for VBA, and at a certain point, I got the information of Members Monday, and then yeah, I found it interesting, and since then I learned so much that yeah, I had the feeling that I started my own company, my small company, and I'm using VBA a lot, and I think VBA is also endless. So in the past 2 years with Members Monday, I learned so much that I really don't know where to start. So I would say everyone that likes to learn VBA in a good way, and not only VBA, but the best point of working in Excel with a good learning experience, that Members Monday is the best place to learn it.
So what did Members Monday give you that you couldn't get anywhere else on the internet? What was the unique thing?
I think that the good structure and the base line where to go to, and it's not on the internet. You get always information about a lot of things, but not the whole picture of it, where to start or where the end is. It's more like you're looking for a kind of code, and you get that on a video, but you don't really know the beginning of all, the code, or it's always a little bit strange sometimes. And with Members Monday, if you don't understand something, you can ask a question and you help us and go a little bit deeper in that kind of line, or something with a function or formal thing in Excel. And there are a lot of things that we have a question about, and also you help with that. And not only,
it's not just me, it's
also
the others as
the
well.
members.
Yeah.
Because of the Facebook group that we have, we can post something on the group and ask a question, and all the members will help in a kind of way that they know how to help with that kind of problem.
Amazing. And we've got 100 sessions in Members Monday, and these are exclusive sessions. Most of them have never been. Thank you very much. We're getting an applause here. Thank you very much. We're getting, one of the things you get access to is 100 exclusive live sessions. So the kind of thing we've been doing today, a little bit interactive, working through a real world problem, Excel VBA. So what are your favorite session, or a session that stands out to you? What's a good memory for you? There's so many.
Yeah, there are so many. That's a really hard question. I think, I really don't know.
Yeah,
it's just too hard. The thing what I really liked in the beginning was, now it's kind of getting normal that we are using the Excel file for all the videos, the content navigator.
Okay,
but we built that together. You had the idea, and we kind of built that together in Members Monday, and then at the end you kind of made it like you liked it.
Just tell the viewers what the content navigator is.
Yeah, the content navigator is that you have all the Members Monday sessions, and then it's you can select that in a sheet in the Excel file, or you just can kind of select which topic that you like to learn, and then automatically it generates that kind of session of that topic of all the Members Monday sessions. So it's not that you need to look at each sheet of Members Monday 1 or 2 or until 100. We have a kind of topic in mind about a kind of code, VBA code, and you have to just select that, and then automatically it will create the topics that you need to look at for that kind of topic.
Absolutely. So all of our content, all of the Members Monday content, we've organized into our content navigator,
Yeah.
as Bart was explaining. So, for example, Members Monday 85, which was in November last year, this is the topic we did. And then over on the right here, I think this is the most interesting thing. I personally go through these. I'm a little bit behind at the moment, but I personally go through the stream and I talk about what we were talking about at each point. I index that for you. So you can just go through and think, okay, I want to refresh on the VLOOKUP formula. I'm not going to do this now because I don't want to go to YouTube. But you can literally click on that and it's going to take you straight to that point in the video, not just to the video, to that specific point in the video. And you can see we've got each session summarized on an individual page. So this in itself, I think, is a fantastic resource. But then there's more, as Bart mentioned, you can generate your own training course. So, for example, if you wanted to revise formulae, or in Members Monday, you wanted to find all of the formulae we've learned in Members Monday, you just hit formulae, and all of these are going to be collated for you. And you can see, for example, once again, VLOOKUP, I want another refresher. I'm going to go to this video here. You can click this link. It's going to take you not just to that video, but the exact point in the video where we're talking about this thing. So this is the training plan generator. Fantastic stuff. Well, anything else you want to say about Members Monday, Bart? Or I think we've covered it well?
It's now I'm in Members Monday from the beginning, and I think still on this point, for me, Members Monday is still so interesting. And now the last topics that we did with PowerPoint, it's a totally other angle, but still communicating with VBA and Excel and PowerPoint.
So we're looking at how to get information from Excel into PowerPoint. So just one of the practical things we're looking at. Let's have a look at this question, Bart, before you go. Excel from Fami. So Fami, thank you so much for tuning in. But Excel offers lots of capabilities thanks to its numerous functions. When do you decide that these are not enough and that you need to use VBA? This is such a good question. And the question is, what's the balance between the things we have in the workbook, so formulae and other facilities like, I don't know, data tables and things like that? When should we use that? And when should we use VBA? That's a great question. It's a question you're going to struggle with through your whole career. But there's things that formulae are better at. For example, doing arithmetic and calculations. You should use formulae to do that. You could do that in VBA, but it's better to use the worksheet to do that because you get instant calculation. So you can change something, Excel's going to instantly calculate, and that's one reason people like Excel. You get that instant calculation. So if you're doing calculations, definitely formulae. And then VBA comes into play when you're looking to automate processes. So you've got something manual, you're moving data around, moving sheets around, whatever it might be. That's usually where VBA helps. So there's certainly things that formulae and stuff are good at and things that VBA is good at. And it's through your career, you're going to get a better feel for that. So great question from Fami. Good. So thank you so much for joining us, Bart. I think we're going to move on to the next person. So we'll be back in just a second, guys. So we'll see you in a couple. There we go. Okay, hi guys, and welcome back to the stream. And we're back with another of our Members Monday members, more recent Members Monday member, who is Keith. So, Keith, thanks so much for being with us today. It's been great meeting you in person. Yeah, and tell us about your kind of Members Monday story.
Well, I've always used fairly basic spreadsheets in the past, and I found myself in a position where I needed to automate a process, as Chris was saying earlier on. And I looked around and found that the VBA was an easy way of doing it. Self-taught, I was able to produce something. Then I found Chris's 30 for 30 stream, followed it through and learned lessons from that. And whereas one of the subs I was writing before perhaps took 9 minutes to run, I had it down to about 30 seconds using the processes that he was showing.
Nice, good. So you started watching the YouTube videos, the ones on the channel, and then that got you into Members Monday. Amazing, good stuff. And so how has it been? Well, firstly, tell us about how you're using Members Monday, because you're using it really.
I'm using it slightly differently from the way Bart and Chris were saying about finding a particular subject and then generating the information on that. I've actually been following the streams from the very beginning. So I've now got to stream 33. So I've had a real journey, as Chris likes to call it, of developing it, because I find you see far more that way. Chris quite often sets a bit of homework to do, so you're able to actually do that yourself and then compare it with the homework that the other members have done, benefit from their experiences and the way they've done things.
Absolutely, yeah. So what Keith is saying is you get our Members Monday Content Navigator file we've just been talking about, and you can literally get this open, and then you can see each stream from MM1, which is our first stream, which is way back in 2019. This is the 12th of February 2019, and you can literally just work through these step by step. So you got the link to the stream, and then do you use these, Keith? You've got these timestamps here on the right?
I just go from the start of each stream and work right the way through.
Yeah, very good. And then you can see there's no homework for this stream, but you can see, let's find one. Well, there should be some homework somewhere, surely. Yeah, you can see there's a homework task here. So obviously if you're with us live, then you can do the homework, and then at the next Members Monday actually review those homeworks. So you get a kind of live homework review. Good stuff. And what else do you like about Members Monday then, Keith?
The community spirit.
It's
very easy to find someone to talk to. If you've got a particular issue you're trying to deal with, you can just put a message on, and you normally get a response fairly quickly from one of the members. Yeah,
because that can be a problem on the internet, isn't it? You know, I can find the answer somewhere, but I don't want to spend the time going onto forums and opening an account on a forum so I can ask a question. You just got somewhere you can go straight away. The stuff, amazing. So, and how far are you through the streams? 30?
33. So
33.
I'm a third of the way through.
Good. And when's your target for catching up? So you've got to get to 100 now.
Well, I started, I think, about 80. So I'm not doing too badly.
Yeah.
But it's been very busy of late with a couple of projects I've been involved with. So it's dropped off a bit.
Yeah.
But I don't have a target date. I'm just working through it slowly.
Fantastic. Well, good stuff, Keith. Thank you so much for being a Members Monday member. It's been brilliant meeting you today.
Pleasure.
And thanks so much. And then we'll move on to somebody else. Okay. Okay, so we've got another Members Monday here. Chaz is with us. Chaz, special thank you to you because you've flown over from California. Okay, you're doing a few things in the UK.
Chris, nice to meet you.
Yeah, it's so good to see you in person. Thank you so much for coming over. It really does mean a lot. Yeah, thank you so much. So tell us, when did you start Members Monday?
So I think in 2019.
2019,
really
I think
when-
it was.
I was, I guess, your 4th, 5th member.
I think so, yeah.
And like I told you, I was working on a project. I came across your channel, and I wanted to compensate you because I thought you did such a good job. And also I was shocked there's free information like that. I really didn't know all the things Excel could do. And I came from a background, I think, very much underestimating what it could do. And I felt you helped me. And then I came across Members Monday, and I'm like, similar to Bart, where I felt I have an opportunity to ask these people, like, you know, so I may as well pay and I could ask. And it's
Absolutely.
like-minded people, and surprisingly, people are interested in VBA and Excel.
Yeah. Well, it's good to find other people, isn't it? Who are interested.
It is interesting.
Yeah. Amazing. And what's it like for you? Because I know the guys in Europe, we do our live stream. It's called Members Monday because we do our live stream twice a month, Monday at 5 p.m. So for me, it's at the end of my workday. But for you,
for me,
is it like breakfast and Members Monday for you?
Basically, like when we were first doing it, Bart and I were discussing, we were doing it every week, and there were assignments. And at that time, I had time. I had a lot of time on my hands, and I really threw myself into it.
Yeah.
And I think I was learning a lot through your assignments.
Yeah.
And
so that's the homework tasks and things like that. Yeah.
And I find, like, in trial and for instance, some of the ways that you do the summation, I still don't approach it your way.
Yeah, that's okay.
The crystal.
It's all about the crystal. It's all about different. There's always more than one way to do something.
The way I do it,
the
loops are slower. Definitely.
It's all about something I've really appreciated through Members Monday is that there's always multiple ways to do a job on there. And so it's about appreciating the pros and cons of each way to do it, I think. Yeah, fantastic. Go on.
I was just going to say, one of the questions that somebody asked was, when do you decide between Excel and VBA?
Yeah,
so for me, we were very much involved in Excel for a long time. VBA was in the picture, but I never appreciated VBA.
Yeah.
So I can say how you decide between Excel and VBA is when you have a lot more data with a limited amount of time.
Okay.
And where I started really using it was for a step-by-step. Like if you caught yourself doing a lot of things in your file, it's almost a way to keep track of what you're doing, because it's very easy to forget. And it's almost like, instead of writing the notes, that can help you keep track of, I was copying from here to here, I was adding here, I need to add this in 5 different places. And you're going to make a mistake. So when there's a bunch of places you have to touch in a file, I would say that's where VBA comes in.
Absolutely, because if you do something manually, it might always go wrong.
Yeah, you're going to forget.
With VBA, it's literally a computer doing it for you, isn't it? So it's automating the process. Good. And Chaz, finally, what are you looking forward to, the future of Members Monday? You know, all of us shape the community together. So what are you looking forward to in the future? Yeah.
What I wanted us to do next, and I've done something, you know, I have my own channel, but it's nowhere near your echelon, your caliber, and I don't specialize in a VBA in that way. But I think there's a lot of possibility with administrative automation. And again, going back to these steps, if you keep repeating these things. So it's not, I don't look at it like database management. I just look at it in a way to keep track of things. Many steps in a model. And my background is accounting, finance. And one of my wishes is for us to get a little bit more involved in portfolio management and do an entire series on how could we pick a company, why do we want this company, and how can we measure the performance and do something.
We can certainly get stock prices into Excel, for example. You can get live stock prices into Excel, so we can certainly look at that. Yeah, fantastic. Well, sounds good, Chaz. And thanks so much for being with us today. I really appreciate you coming over.
I'm happy to be here.
Absolutely, you're one of our longest serving members. It's absolutely magnificent. I'm really happy. Okay, thanks so much, Chaz.
Thank you.
And we'll be back for one more interview in a second. Thank you, Chaz. We'll be back in a second, guys. There we go.
Thank you so much.
Okay. Mute. Okay, guys. So thanks for being with us. And this is our last member interview. So Ian is with us. Ian, thank you so much for being here today. Come down from Scotland today.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah. And tell us all about your Members Monday experience.
I guess like the other folks, I think I was searching for some trouble with a non-VBA Excel formula. I can't remember what it was, offset or index or something like that. And I came across your channel. So I started watching quite a few of the videos, and particularly I kind of latched on to the sort of non-technical videos, so the ones that you refer to, sort of meta skills. So because nobody else is really doing them. I mean, there's plenty of videos about how to use offset and lookup and that kind of thing, but nobody's really telling you how to think about what you're doing. So I found those videos quite interesting. And then obviously after that, I sort of got interested in VBA and what VBA could offer. And then that naturally led to Members Monday. And
so had you not touched on VBA before in your career then before?
I had just used it once actually to do something in Outlook to file emails after I'd sent them. But that was really just copying code from the internet and putting it into my computer and then worrying that I'd infected it with some terrible virus. But, so I didn't really, I had no concept of what I was actually doing. It looked like well, literally a completely different language to me.
So I think a lot of professionals out there and people watching this video maybe will be in that kind of situation. If they've dipped into code, maybe they've recorded something macro recorder, copied some from the internet. And it's just like you're just beginning to think maybe there's some possibility there. So
but no, I'd never used it in Excel. And looking back now, I can see hours I must have wasted in my career doing things I could have done in a second in VBA.
Excel VBA. And it's been amazing like working with Ian because, you know, full disclosure, Ian now works for our company. He's he works part-time as a VBA developer for our company. So that's really evidence of the kind of progress that you can make. But Ian is particularly organized, conscientious and committed. That's got to come as well. But I think in some small way anyway, it's given you the environment you needed, I suppose, to really take your skills to a professional level.
Yeah, because I think one of the key benefits of Members Monday, and particularly the homework elements, is that we get feedback from you on what we've done. So you could learn code from the internet and not know where you're going wrong. But by doing the homework assignments, you've said, well, think about doing it this way, or you could have done it a different way, or I wouldn't have done it that way, and that kind of thing. So you wouldn't get that by just putting it.
And you see other people's homework assignments as well. So you're like, that's a different way to do it. In Excel, people never do something the same way, do they? So it's always interesting. Very good. And do you have a favorite memory or a favorite session?
I think my favorite is, I think it's Members Monday 21, when I think it was probably my first homework assignment.
Okay,
and
fantastic.
It was some football data, and we had to go through all the teams in the English Premier League and sort out the data for them for various betting odds. And it was reasonably complex. I think it was a loop within a loop within a loop. And it was probably the first time, I think it was probably my first bit of homework. And it was certainly the first time where everything kind of fell into place. And I thought, well, I've got a reasonable conceptual understanding of this that I could explain in plain English. And it was certainly one of the first punch the air moments when I got that to work.
Punch the air moment.
So I think it was Members Monday 21, something around that time. But that's the one I recommend everybody goes and watches now.
Yes, absolutely. Fantastic stuff. So this is Members Monday, guys. We've got real world results here. If you want to hang out with me and these guys, I would love to have you in Members Monday. We will be closing the membership at some point in terms of closing the membership. We'll be closing the membership for new members. So now's a good time for you to get in. And we've got a really good deal on the whole year. I think it's just massive value. You get good value for money. The link is in the description below this video. But this was Members Monday 100, guys. I'm going to give you all a round of applause. Thank you so much. Absolutely fantastic. Thank you so much for watching, guys. See you soon on the channel Members Monday. The link is in the video description. We'd love to see you there. Take care.